we're in. Your state is orange. You can find us in your local package store or liquor store. The gray states, internet sales only. The white states, we're not there. We are locally owned and private owned, so we want to look after the community, the local people, also our local farmers. So all of our grains come from local farms right here in Tennessee. We do use white corn instead of yellow corn because it's a higher quality grain. We get all of our grains in whole grain form. We grind it all ourselves. That way we know exactly what's going into our mash. We can keep the quality of our products up. Each one's ground right here in our custom handmade stone burr mill. Fill the hopper full, turn her on, the tray shakes. Grains fall through the slot into the opening of the stones. Small stone on the bottom stays stationary. Big one behind the panel turns, grinds everything up, comes out the chutes, we catch it in bags. We're ready to make our mash at that point. For a rye mash, we take 500 gallons of water, 750 pounds of ground corn, 850 pounds of ground rye, 70 pounds of ground barley. That goes into the big tank here, a big cooker. We heat the mixture to 200 degrees, then we cut the heat, let it cool. What we're doing is softening the grains. We let the mixture drop down to 95 degrees, then we can add our products, enzymes, and yeast. At that point, we're starting the fermentation. Then we pump the mash over into our fermentation tanks. We're going up front next to where stills is at. Tanks with the wood around them have the nozzles close to the bottom, so please be careful. Come on up front.
Okay. He's making fun of us because we're short. It's long.
Gotta do to get it.
Okay, once we get our mash in the mash tanks, we drop the temperature down to 73 degrees for 7 days. Then we can pump 750 gallons of mash in our big still, 250 in the small one. With both stills and the cooker, we heat them with steam. The reason we had any type of flame back here, you, the general public, would not be allowed in these areas. Also easier on us, because we heat our stills even, so we don't have the hot spots like we would with a flame, so we don't burn and scorch the mash. We raise our mash temperature up to 173 degrees. At that point, alcohol starts turning into a vapor. Alcohol vapors go up the whiskey helmet, across the gooseneck. Our first distillation continues into the column here with the 5 sight glasses. Each sight glass is a separate distillation. Copper plates in there's got steam going through them. Alcohol hits the plates, turns into a vapor, rises into copper bales, turns back into a liquid, drops down on the next plate. Continues that process 5 times till it gets to the top. All of our moonshine here at SugarLand has been distilled 6 times. Continues into the copper column on the end. Inside, copper worms, cold water around them, turns it back into a liquid, comes out here in our parrot glass, down the line to the nozzle where we can open up, draw some moonshine out for tasting and sampling. We have to taste and sample it because these is manually operated stills. Anytime you distill high grain alcohol, comes out in 3 parts: heads, hearts, and tails. Heads come out around 180 proof down to around 160. Hearts around 160 down to about an 80 proof. Tails around 80 proof and below. We have to keep each one of those products separated and keep up with all the amounts that comes out of each one. Continues through the lines here in the back. We got the 3 valves. We drop it into the tank below in 3 sections: heads, hearts, and tails. I've got the 3 products here, just like it come out of the still. First one's the heads at 178 proof.
Wow.
We'll let y'all take you a big whiff of each one.
Well, I can't take a feel.
Oh yeah. Rubbing alcohol.
Now the heads actually contains acetone and methanol. If you drink the heads, it will cause you to go blind and it will eventually kill you. That's why we have to keep everything separated. We like repeat business. We don't want to hurt anyone, but we keep it out, but we do have a use for it, and I'll go over that with you in just a minute. What we're using, the hearts, the good stuff, this one's only 155 proof. It's going to be a sweeter, crisper smell.
Oh yeah.
Making me thirst.
Last one's the tails. First up, you're going to notice it's a little cloudy. Tails contain oils and impurities. You drink the tails, you're going to wake up the next morning with the worst hangover you've ever had. We keep the tails out like the heads. We got a use for them also. 60 proof. It's going to be as much difference in the smell of this one as there was the first 2.
Yeah.
That was the name.
Pour those down the drain.
Exactly like they smell. We know when to drop it into the tanks. Once the run's done, hearts is pumped out of the tank here, goes in the tanks in the back. We hold it for proofing and flavoring. Then we pump our old mash out of the stills, goes in the tanks on our back loading dock, and we give it to local Tennessee cattle farmers. All the grains is there, proteins, fibers, cows can benefit from it. They're doing us a favor by helping us get rid of it. Then we pump our new mash in the stills along with the heads and the tails because we want to redistill them. Pull the high proof moonshines out of the heads, flavors out of the tails, redistilling them each time. That's how we keep the consistency and the flavors going in our moonshine run after run, and we don't have any waste. Okay, any questions?
It's the best.
All right, well, appreciate y'all coming out to SugarLand, taking the tour. Y'all have a great afternoon.
You too, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.